Why are you making me eat this?
Entertainment. Today I'm attempting to make homemade meatballs using every meat that exists in the hope that I can make the perfect meatball. And yes, as you can see down there, I've ordered small portions of nearly every meat that I could get hold of. When it comes to homemade meatballs, I like to do a combination normally of like beef and pork. I once did it with veal, so those are kind of like the three most popular ones. Some people even say that just veal on its own is an incredible meatball. We've actually got all three of those meats today, but also a few more. Crocodile, venison, lamb, chicken, duck, kangaroo, turkey, ostrich, crab, buffalo, and goat. Yeah, I know that's not every single meat. In fact, that formed part of my rules, was that it was going to be every meat that I have tried in some form that I've enjoyed. So I did actually omit rabbit and of course human flesh. I could go down the route of fish as well. Some people class fish as a meat, but for me it's strictly a seafood. So I felt like crab was kind of like a nice balance of a hybrid between the two before even going completely down that. Maybe that's a fish pie, but the other rule was that it has to taste good. And of course, if you're vegetarian or vegan watching, if this is a fun format, my other rule is that maybe we'll do the ultimate salad with every vegetable in the world.
Every bean in the world, chilling.
If this is terrible, I've got a very happy dog down there. Well, so you guys tell me, and judging by some of the offcuts that he's had, he will really, really enjoy. So as you saw, some of those meats were already minced up. Some of them need breaking down, and then we can use this machine to potentially make the combined mince for the meatball. Got different plates and things. You can put a thing on it so you can make homemade sausages. That was a video I've done with my mum a few years ago, and I think I need to do a follow-up with that.
It feels really weird!
So before I mix them all together into a bowl, there's a couple that we'll need to go through here first, just to get it more into that texture, so it'll hopefully adhere and blend way more. And luckily for me, that's only a couple of them. That's the goat and the duck. Actually, that was a breast that I've just chopped up to help it a little bit. It's quite loud. I don't have ear defenders, so I'll just grab my hands-free kit. Yeah, this machine is either on or off, so homemade ear defenders. All right, here we go, ready? Thank goodness I have my hands-free kit in. If you do get one of these machines on the off chance, a lot of people are for like homemade dog food, like seriously. They can overheat like crazy, so only use it in sporadic bursts and make sure the rest of your meats are pre-minced for your meatballs. So there we go, those two meats, as you can see, have actually blended into one sort of super meat as a mince. So we'll get a bowl, we'll get this to one side for a minute and bring it all together. Okay, we might as well start with the classic meatball mix anyway. So beef, this is all about 100 grams portions. Pork, so that would be a standard meatball that I would normally make and season it and stuff like that. Now the veal, that would pretty much be a decent meatball mix. However, crocodile, turkey, ostrich, crab, my personal favorite, kangaroo, chicken, venison, lamb, and buffalo. Blimey. I just thought to myself, that's quite a lot, isn't it? And I just looked over like, oh yeah, we forgot the other two that we've already mixed together. In that goes the goat and the duck. Sounds like a pub. It's nearly the colour of my t-shirt. The only thing I can say is I have never washed my hands so much in a video in all of my life, but it's starting to get some sort of consistent colour now. Yeah, it's speckly, but that is actually quite well combined, so ear defender's back. Just changed it to a smaller plate on it, so we should get a nice finer size coming through. New bowl. All right, so half of it is in there. This is like Play-Doh, but for butchers. Wow, and good news for Mrs. B, I've still got half left. I can keep that in the freezer for another day. I've got plenty there. Genuinely, that looks like all one consistent meat. That is incredible. It just looks like pork mince. Oh, hang on. It just looks like pork mince, right, too. We need to wrap it. Because we need to shape it, and with it being chilled, just like what you get from the supermarket or your butcher's, that will really help it. You keep an eye on that fridge, all right? I've got to be honest, I think it's going rather well indeed. If I was doing the weather forecast, my prediction would be cloudy with a chance of meatballs, which is actually quite a good film. I watched it with the kids and they were falling asleep, but I thought it was brilliant. All right, so I'm just gonna cook mine in the oven. There's other ways you can do that, but that's just my personal choice to help hold their shape. Just a moment ago, I got some bread, tore it up and whizzed it to make some fresh breadcrumbs. I will also use an egg too. Someone suggested using an ostrich egg, and I probably could have omitted the meat there and used that. That would have been hilarious. But the egg will help James bond it, and the breadcrumbs isn't always needed, but it sometimes fills those little gaps. And the other thing, I'm not seasoning it. I want to know what these taste like. Yeah, even salt and pepper, I'm gonna completely omit it. So other than the fresh breadcrumbs, a few tablespoons of that, and the egg, no herbs or anything like that. But obviously when you're making them from scratch, please do that. So we'll drop in the egg and just a couple spoonfuls of the breadcrumbs. That might be enough actually. So one last messy time. Oh, look at the yolk, it's like jumping up. I've kind of committed myself now. I've got like one dirty hand. I don't want to keep washing them. We're going to just go for this. So I've got my baking tray ready. This is just a little bit of flour, that's optional. But I'm going to take a piece, just coat it like that, and we'll just roll it, okay, and kind of compress it. Right, there we go. It does feel quite delicate actually. Down onto our board. Now it is soft. It might have a flat bottom on it. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah, that's the only thing. The egg and breadcrumbs will do so much, but if it's all these different textures in there, it could impact that, but we're committed now. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Oh, of course, as well, the other way you can do it is using an ice cream scoop. Here we go. I'm really excited. So when you bake meatballs, it's normally about half an hour. We're gonna try and push it, get some real good color on there. I might go a little bit longer. I did actually have one of these like thermometers where a probe where I could push that in and make sure it's cooked through, but I think that's a bit overkill. I think we'll be fine. So we'll see you in a little while. All right, got my pasta and sauce ready. It has been 45 minutes. They're looking cooked. A little speckly. Oh, it smells amazing. Look. Look. Oh my gosh, they smell just like meatballs. So I'll just show you one of them there for reference. Look at that. It's sort of speckly and almost caramelized in some spots, which is awesome. Maybe this bigger one will show it better. Look at that. I mean, it looks exactly like a meatball. I mean, it is a meatball, but you know what I mean. So we'll dollop the majority of those into the tomato sauce to warm through, but let's see what's inside it. Oh, well, it looks like meat, doesn't it? Wow. So although I could have the one that I've just halved, I'm not short of a few, so I want that entire experience of having a whole one. And it's, if you had it at a restaurant, you wouldn't look at it and be like, oh, waiter, there is a fly in my meatball. It looks and smells just like a meatball. Here we go. That is the most bizarre, strangest texture I've ever had. It's kind of like a mixture with being super moist, and then it's got a drier outer crust where there's almost like some caramelization that's happened with a slight sweetness. I don't know what that is that's done that, but that is absolutely remarkable. I want to see what it's like served with the sauce. I think that's the thing. You genuinely would not know that that was a very, very crazy meatball. You could get served that at a restaurant and little would you know what's inside. Okay, so the test here is to see if this tastes any different. Nope, it's just sweetness. One of the ingredients in there is giving that a little sweetness as well. And we did oven bake it for a while to give it that caramelization too. Wow. Just before my lovely wife tries some, the other thing to say is they're really light as well. They almost feel like the weight of a table tennis ball. I don't know if that's the crab meat or something. They have that density when you bite into it, but they're really, really light.
Why are you making me eat this?
Entertainment.
They just taste like really rich meatballs.
Yeah, and that is exactly what they are.
If I didn't know what was in them,
yeah,
I would just
you wouldn't know.
Eat them and not know any different.
All right, well, there we go. This all came about from the purpose of raw dog food. We've made this, which is better than dog food. If you like this concept and have some other ideas, let me know down below. But this actually was really, really fun. I wanted a bit more crab. You can't taste the crock, but the real winner today is meatballs. Cheers. Every fish in the world, sushi? Yeah, that would be worse. That would be worse. There are worse ways I could have gone with this.